Okay.
I can see your screen.
Okay, good. Okay, this is the very first screen. When you click this icon, this is a Prolis icon. When you click this, you see this first screen. And right now, there's nothing on the menu available to the user because nobody is logged in. So let me log in myself. All right. So as I log in, system tells me that this is Tariq Chaudhary on this computer.
Mm-hmm.
And now all the menus are available to me. Software is a huge, but I'm going to show you the part you are interested in. So would you like to tell me what part you want to see, which I should start talking on?
Right. So our primary interest is to acquire software that can help us with accessioning, so the shipping and receiving of samples.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, let me go over with you from the accessioning point of this is in-lab accessioning. Because our software, it provides you the capability for accessioning in lab or remotely as well.
Could you expand on that a little? What do you mean by separately in lab and remotely?
In lab means when you receive the specimen inside the lab, then you use Prolis accessioning to accession in the lab. But on the remote accessioning mean your client, doctors or clinicians, they could log into the outreach, which that's a web portal, and we provide to the labs, and they could, using the website of the laboratory, they could accession it. They could place order with you.
Okay.
And that's a remote accessioning. It is similar to this accessioning, but it's a web application. So, and when they accession it remotely, you get all the information in Prolis immediately. And when you receive the specimen, physically, when you receive the specimen from the client, then you just make another step, and that is right here. Receive remote accession, and then you receive the specimen at this screen. Okay? So this screen only provides you the capability to receive the specimen in Prolis. So then after this process, the accession becomes a regular accession, like in lab.
Okay.
So for example, here in this in-lab accession, you receive the specimen and you want to enter into Prolis. And this is the screen we use to enter a new accession as well as edit any existing accession. So this is the button you use to switch between new and edit mode. Right now it is in a new mode, and if you click this, it will turn into an edit mode. So let's make a new accession here, and this is the horizontal bar telling you different areas of the data. The green color means you have the system has the data already. You don't need to enter it. And the peach color means you need to enter the data. So these are the various part of the accession you have to put the data in. It looks too much, but actually when you start using it, you will see the information goes pretty quick. The requisition data, which is accession ID generated by the Prolis automatically, is there already. Accession date is default, today's date and current time, and the specimen type, which is like a clinical specimen, or it could be industrial specimen, or it could be regulatory specimen.
Question, can one manipulate the accession ID to have a certain format to it?
Yes, absolutely. We provide you certain formats, which I'm going to talk later on this. But the regular current accession ID scheme is which I have put it in this sample database, and which is like a year. First two digit is the year, second two digit, next two digit are the month, the last two digit is the date, and this is a serial number which increments with each accession.
And then in terms of the specimen type, is that something that can be change as well to create multiple different kinds?
Yes, specimen type mean clinical mean, which if you receive the specimen from a clinical practice like a patient specimen, then you leave it default as a clinical specimen type.
Oh, what I mean is whether we can customize that.
Why you want to customize this specimen type?
So, I mean, once we have clinical, like for, let's say, for clinical research studies that we do, sometimes we would have very different studies, and we oftentimes currently we have different accessioning IDs that correspond to the different studies. So it would be a different kind of template accessioning ID depending on the details of the actual sample. So that is not strictly just between clinical, industrial, and regulatory.
No, this specimen type is not editable by the user. This is the 3 specimen type supported by Prolis.
Okay.
The clinical means it involves the patient. The industrial mean any specimen, like for example a food industry submit you the specimen for infection. So you have to do some microbiology test on it. That would be called, and it doesn't have associated patient with it. So that will be called industrial specimen.
Okay.
The regulatory specimen is like you receive the proficiency from your regulatory agency.
Mm-hmm.
And that proficiency does not have any specimen, any patient associated with it. So that would be called regulatory.
Okay.
That's why these specimen types are different specimen types which supported by Prolis. So
Is that something that you could, on the back end, set up for us? Like if we just wanted to distinguish between clinical samples and research samples rather than clinical, industry, and regulatory, is that something that you can manage?
You could manage it yourself. This specimen type is associated to the accession. So you could change it like from, if you have a right now clinical specimen, for the next accession you could do it with the industrial specimen.
No, I understand, but I mean, we wouldn't ever need to use the option of industry or regulatory. Instead, we would have research samples.
Oh, research samples.
So I know that you said that the user can't add specimen types, but is that something that when you design or create customize the database for us that you could change?
No, actually that won't be. You just have to see what kind of features you are looking for in your specimen type, and you match it with this one. If you're talking about research, I would say most probably you will be using the industrial type. In the research, if the patient is not associated with the specimen, you would use the industrial type. If the patient is associated with the specimen, then you would use the clinical type.
Okay.
So this accession ID is automatically generated by the system, and it is populated here. And after that, you need to put the information about the specimen, what you have inside the specimen. That you do it using these tabs. The first tab is the specimen tab. For example, you have SST, serum separator tube. You select that, and this is the quantity of the tube. This is the collection date. This is the collection time, and you add it to the list. That's it. Your specimen requirement is done. And you see this box has become green. The same way, if you have any extra tube, like you have a lavender tube also in the accession, you select the lavender and you add to the list. That's it. You could add as many sources of the specimen as you have, and it will take it.
Is that customizable, the specimen source?
Absolutely, that is customizable. And you could use any slide or any urine, vial, bacteria, stool card. You could put your own sources here also. Okay.
Okay.
So after you put the specimen requirement, this box is green. Next one is the client where you got the specimen from. If the provider is already set up in your system, and you know the ID, you could just enter the ID for here. If you don't know the ID, If you have too many clients and you don't know the ID, you could put the search by the name. I'm going to search it by the ZZB. ZZ Bambino. This is our fictitious physician. We use it for the testing purposes. Accept it, and system is going to put his name and all the information automatically here. And the client requirement is already fulfilled. It is green now. But here, before I go further, I want to describe it, what it is. If you are dealing with a hospital, and this portion belongs to this hospital, and this portion belongs to all the doctors working for that hospital. This portion will display all the doctors working under this hospital. And you have to select the attending doctor for that accession. After you meet the client requirement, you select the patient and you enter the last name. Chaudhry. First name is Tariq. And when I press enter, if this patient exists, it will show this patient exists in the system. So there could be multiple patients with the same name. So you identify the correct one with the help of date of birth and gender, and with the address also. So let me select this one and put it here. System will pull the date of birth and gender and address and everything, even phone number and email. And if you have doctor has provided you the diagnosis code, you could enter them here. For example, doctor provided you 401.9 and you enter 401 and system will take you to the right place. Okay, 401 is not correct code. You have to correct either this one, complete code, with the C. You select this one and it is good. The next diagnosis code, if you put like 250.00, if the code is correct, system is not going to do anything. It will take it simply. So this patient portion has been filled in. When you go to the next one, the patient will become green also. The last portion is the orders tab. What are the orders, actual order with the specimen? What the doctor wants to do the test for. If you know the test ID, you could type it in right here, like 107 is for CBC. System will take it. The next one, if you don't know the ID, you could look up. Here, let me check it, CMP, and system will pull up CMP like this, comprehensive metabolic panel. You select it and system will pick it. The next one, I'm going to order urinalysis. And if I put it, select urinalysis, accept it, system won't take it. Specimen source does not support this component. Look at the specimen. There is no urine. So it correlates the order exactly with the specimen. What the specimen is back there. Even if I put the specimen here, like urine, and try to enter the urinalysis, this time it should not have any problem. It will take it without saying anything. And let me do the last step here to show you how it saves you from different typographical errors.
Could you have multiple tests run on a single samples? For example, if we receive tissue that we want to do, let's say a microarray test on and a PCR test on, could we change the status of that sample or at least have it recorded for both?
Yes, you could do on single source, provides you the capability to order multiple tests on it. Yes. If I try to order pregnancy and I try to accept it, the component does not meet extended market conditions. That means this pregnancy test, which I show you right here, this guy, this has been configured by the laboratory. It can be, this test can be ordered on female between the age of 12 and 50. But here I am trying to order pregnancy and it's not letting me do it because let me check the patient. Patient is a male. And if I change the gender of the patient to female, and let me try to order it. Still it does not take it because the patient age is not supporting it. Look at the date of birth of the patient, 1955.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 55, more than 55 years old, and on the conditions, filters are on the test are like up to 50 years. So that's why these kind of internal filters are applied on the test if the laboratory wants it. So these are kind of the errors your system can provide you the capability to avoid it. So these are the three orders we placed in here, and I'm going to save it. Before I click the save button, I want to show you what system does. If you have a label printer attached to the system,
Mm-hmm.
it will print 3 labels, barcode labels here. Okay? But right now my computer is not, it does not have a barcode label printer, so it's not going to print anything. So if I save it, it will simply save it.
Does it matter what? Sorry, does it matter what type of label printer it is?
No, we only support Dymo print.
Okay, that's fine. That's what we're using anyway.
Yes. So it simply, in this case, it said that it gave me this dialog box saying that this accession have been saved under this accession number. That's it. And then if you click OK, it will make the system ready for the next accession. It incremented to 2. And then you could start accessioning the next one, like this.
Yeah.
So this was the accessioning, very simple. But while we were accessioning it, did you notice that we did not even go to these 2 tabs, reports and billing?
I did.
Because let me pull that accession again and show you what system did. 14/12/19/0001. I pulled it back. When we selected the client, this was the client. When we selected it, system made this entry automatically. Because system knew that this ordering doctor wants the report also.
Mm-hmm.
So it made with the configuration in the provider record, it put the instructions here for the reporting purposes that this doctor wants complete report only by Prolis. Prolis is one of our component we provide you guys, and that prints the report remotely. And system can send the report to Prolis. It could print inside the lab. It could send to the interface. It could send to the fax, automated fax, or it could you could email it to the doctor automatically. These are the different options available in Prolis.
So in terms of the patient tab, can you configure it so that we would add additional information for those patients.
Like what kind of information we are talking about? This is the patient
So
tab.
as part of our report, we actually need to report some of the pathology information for those specific patients, and it needs to be recorded in our system. So oftentimes we'll be recording, let's say, when a patient received surgery, or whether they had a negative outcome at surgery, things like that.
Yes. For pathology, our software supports synoptic pathology. That means you could configure the test for pathology purposes, and those are the composite tests. Each piece of information go into the children tests.
Okay, because the thing is, we're not necessarily doing the pathology tests on the samples, but we require input of the pathology information before we do our tests. Okay.
That is fine. I mean, it is just I'm just using the example of pathology because pathology is more suitable criteria for you to for me to describe the situation to you, because system has a capability to take the clinical information along with the specimen.
Okay.
So we would
And
be
we
able
call them
to,
pre-analyticals, like pre-analytics.
Yeah.
Let me show that to you. This is the pre-analytical screen. And when inside the lab, when you're accessing inside the lab, after the accessing, the user need to put the clinical information right in here. And system will display different fields for those information. Well, however way you have set it up, the tests, it will show it up here, and you are going to enter the clinical information into the response field. Yes.
and that would be able to appear in the report as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very nice.
There is a two kind of pathology. I'm using again the word pathology because that most likely involves the clinical information. So there are two kind of testing type in Prolis, which is a conventional, where you could put the lot of free text into the result record, and that text mean nothing. Nothing mean only a human can see that free text and take some meaning out of it. As far as the computers and electronic media are concerned, that free text does not mean anything to the system. But with the modern technique of this type of supporting this type of testing is the synoptic pathology. And by that means, you could Prolis support that synoptic pathology, and with that technology, each and every piece of the information means something to the system and something to the humans also. So we support both kind of techniques. I mean, conventional pathology and synoptic pathology. So if you acquire the system, we will tell you how to take the modern approach and how to use the conventional approach, the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you. Let me recall the accession we have created for that purpose, synoptic testing. Let me pull some report for that and show it to you what I mean. These I wish I would know this situation before, so I could have made this ready. I don't know. There are so many cases here. I don't know which one is which. Let me pull this one. Special chemistry. No, this is not the one. Hold on. I guess probably this could be the case. Yes, this is the one, quad screen. Look at this report.
Can you scroll up again a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
And down again, please. Okay.
It even automatically marks this with the 3 asterisks that this test was done by the Prolis using laboratory, or it was sent to the reference lab, and all that information. Everything is controlled automatically.
Okay.
Okay. And so after doing the accessioning, we provide you this accessioning dashboard. It tells you at between this and this date how many accessions you have in the laboratory.
Okay.
If you want to know the detail of anyone, we just did it a while ago. You click this and system will display this is the doctor, attending doctor, this is the patient, these are the diagnosis codes, this was the specimen contents like SST, urine and lavender, and these were the tests which were ordered. And this is the billing information. If you have a 500 or 1000 specimen, it will be listed here.
So is this something that can be accessed remotely for others to see it that might not necessarily be at the site?
No, it is inside the laboratory. For the laboratory, any laboratory user can access it. But if you want to access the system by someone who is not present in the premises, there are other means which we can recommend it, but those are not our products. But yes, those products are available because
Well, let me put it differently. Remember how I said yesterday that our lab is in San Diego, but our headquarters is in Vancouver? I guess the question that we're wondering is, if the lab receives the sample and they can see this accessioning dashboard, could we in Vancouver also see that accessioning dashboard?
Yes, you can do that, but I mean, we can provide you the complete solution, but that solution is a little slow because the data has to cross over the internet, and that becomes slow. Nothing we can do about it. So
See.
the alternate solution is that you use the Go to Assist service, which is provided by Citrix. That's what we use also. We provide the support to all of our clients, which are all over the United States. And you could use the same technology to access from overseas also as well. And that is not slow.
Okay.
And that service is probably like $30, $40 a month, and you could use it. It's very, very, very good.
Is there a limit on how many users you can have access the Prolis software?
No, Prolis, we provide you unlimited users.
Okay.
But we provide you seats, workstations. We have a limit on seats.
Explain to me what a workstation seat would be.
Like if you have a laboratory like in California, and because initially we issue the license per site basis. Mm-hmm. Our license is for one single site.
Ah, I see.
And on the single site, we provide you the specific number of seats, like 36, 48, 200, 500, as many as you want.
So that's kind of like the number of individuals that can simultaneously access the system, or is it actual physical copies of the software that we're installing on different workstations?
No. The software is all central. This is the how many computers can be hooked up to the system.
Okay.
Actually, physically, seats. Seats mean, the computer, PCs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you, it is, those seats are license based, and we can provide you 10,000 license. You could buy 10,000 license, and you could have 10,000 computer, associated with your network, and it will work.
Chia brought up a good point. Is there a limit on how many users could work with the system simultaneously?
Like I said, users are unlimited. You could create any number of users in the system.
Sorry, I should rephrase. How many seats could access work on the system simultaneously? For example, if 2 people in the lab or 3 people in the lab want to accession at the same time, is that feasible, or can only one person at a time?
No, that's a multiple user system. You could have 50 people accessing at the same time, provided you have 50 seats.
Right.
And I'm just curious, I see that you have billing in there. What kind of capability does that have?
It is we offer 3 kind of billing, ma'am. The first kind is I show you. We provide you client billing. Client billing is the one when you bill to the hospital, when you bill to the doctor, when bill you to the clinic, who submitted you the specimen. That's called client billing. The next billing type is the third-party billing. That means insurance billing. You could bill to the Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicaid, Medicare. All those scenarios are the insurances, and you can bill them. The third kind is the patient billing. When the patient is paying from the pocket, then you could bill to the patient. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
So when you change the billing type here, like for example, the default is client, you don't need to enter any information here. But if you change to the third party, then system requires you to put the insurance information, policy, and the relationship of the subscriber to the patient. And then system will make this billing tab green, and then you could save the specimen. If any of the required information is missing, you cannot move forward.
And so this is something that you can enter while you're accessioning as well, right?
You could enter while you're accessioning, or you could do the accessioning today and enter the information for the billing information tomorrow.
Okay. And I see that you have that in-house button about yes or no. So, for example, is it possible to do kind of like a pre-accessioning where you're entering all these patient information and insurance information first, and then when the sample actually come in, do the actual accessioning?
Yes and no. The in-house button here, it doesn't mean what you assumed.
I see.
In-house button means all the tests in the accession, they will be done in-house. But this is a little bit of complicated process, which I didn't want to go into that. But let me explain you what it is. If you enter the third-party billing, like insurance, and you put the insurance information, and your laboratory is not participating with the insurance, you put it here, this button will be changed automatically to no, instructing you that this sample will be sent out to the reference lab automatically by the system. Because you are not participating in the insurance and you won't get paid, so system is designed in such a way that system will automatically create the sendout, which is right here, sendouts. It will create the sendout for the reference lab. You set it up here. And system supports multiple reference labs.
Okay.
It's a
So,
little bit complicated
Yeah,
at
yeah.
this point, but
Yeah. No, but it's interesting to just explore. In terms of what I mentioned, though, the pre-accessioning and then indicating that it's received at a later time, is that something that's possible?
it is
You
possible.
mentioned-
It is
Yeah,
possible, but we don't recommend it. We support it, but we
Okay.
don't recommend it. I mean, the way why I'm saying it, we support it via you could get the patient demographics in the form of Excel file, and you could put it in Prolis, and you will have all the patient information already existing in Prolis. And then when you receive the specimen, you don't have to enter that information again.
Oh, I see. So it's like when you look up a patient's name, that information would already be there.
Yes.
So you don't have to enter it again.
You don't have to enter it again. The
And
reason
what's
why
the-
we don't recommend it,
Uh-huh.
because that is a problemful in a way that actually patient information not change quite normally, but seldomly patient information change. I mean, the patient change their addresses, patient change their phone numbers, and lot of the billing information is directly related to the patient demographics. And when you have already preloaded patients, then you may have the problems appeared in the billing. That's why, to avoid all that, because it is so easy to enter the patient information, and you have to enter it the very first time. The next time the patient comes in, you don't have to enter it again, because system will keep it. Only the importing part is not recommended, because where you are getting the patient information from, they might have a different set of criteria for the patient information, patient demographics, and Prolis has its own criteria. Because for the patient information, Prolis use 4 pieces of elements to identify a patient: last name, first name, gender, and date of birth. All these red color fields. And what if your existing your source where you are getting the patient demographics, they don't have all the information available for a certain patient? What will happen?
Then you won't have a unique information.
You don't have a unique information, then the Prolis is not going to keep that information with you.
Yeah. Well, the reason why we ask is just right now this patient level information might be entered by someone that's different than the accessioning tech, and for efficiency, it's done ahead of time. But the sources should essentially be the same. But I mean, that's something we can explore later.
Yes, you can by all means, like I said, we support it, but we don't recommend it for so many reasons.
Yeah,
Did you
it's just
realize
in terms
that
of data
when I-
integrity.
when I put myself, my information, let me pull it again so you could see what I mean exactly. I put this patient here. Do you remember I changed the gender of this patient?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for to test the pregnancy test. When I changed the gender to female, system internally created another patient. No, I'm sorry. System changed the gender of the same patient. While this ID is here, system changed the demographics of the patient through this screen. But if this ID is not there, then system will create another patient if you change any of the element from these red color field. So it's a organized internally, very well organized way that how system keeps the integrity of the patient inside. So to keep that integrity, we recommend that patient information be entered through this screen, not imported.
Sorry, moving on from that, I just had a thought. Does the system have the capability to let us check out a sample? To be more specific, we have situations in which we need to return leftover tissue to an institution. Would this system be able to accommodate that in the sense of date shipped out kind of information?
Well, I'm sorry, I need a little more elaboration on that. I did not quite get what you asked.
So an institution can send us a tumor sample, and we take a little bit of it to do our testing. But the rest of the tumor sample, the institution will want back for various other reasons. So we need to return the leftover sample to that institution. What I'm wondering, does Prolis have the ability to track when that sample was returned or had left our lab?
No, it doesn't have. Because right now, what was submitted to Prolis, right now it is assumed that it's the ownership of the laboratory.
Okay.
We don't have such scenario. We have not come across any situation like that before. So there's no capability of returning the sample to the user.
Well, I mean, we're just wondering if the ability to capture that data is available. So if I look at the screen where you have in front of us right now, even if we could just add a couple of data fields to it, like a checkbox that says sample returned and date of return.
Yes, you could. We don't provide the user the capability to add fields, but by all means, we could provide you some custom table, and of course, we could provide you a limited customization, even elaborated customization, but that will happen when you are satisfied with the system, when you acquire the system.
Right.
That the customization we do provide to the laboratories. Yes.
Okay, that would be sufficient.
Yes, and for your purposes, I want to show you some other thing.
Okay.
We provide you ad hoc SQL query capability. For research purposes, you could, if you know the SQL language, you could fetch the data the way you want it. I don't know if it makes sense to you or not.
So it allows you to use SQL queries to look through the entire database, you mean, in just a faster format as opposed to just individual searches. So if you actually go back to the dashboard where you would have been able to see all the samples that's been accessioned, I guess, are there filtering or
yes, there is a lot of filtering available by accession date, by collection date, by receive date, and then criteria, accession ID, provider name, patient ID, patient name, a client build, patient build, insurance build, and gratis.
Okay, but I guess the SQL query would give you just more flexibility in terms of how you want to filter and look things up. Okay.
With the SQL query, you could search any kind of table, any kind of data the way you want it. So, and beside that, you want me to go to the resulting portion also?
Sorry, which portion?
Resulting, how you result them.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, okay. The next, there are a lot of things which I don't want to mention. I told you about the accessioning, remote accession. You could print the extra label if you want. Pre-analyticals, I described a little bit. Print accession log, and then accession dashboard I showed you. These three things are for the future and future orders and standing orders type of situation.
What is send out?
I'm sorry?
What is the send out option in a drop-down menu you're looking at?
Send out? This is when you send the specimen out to the reference lab.
Oh, okay, I see.
And I mean, not every laboratory do everything in-house, you know. Even Quest, the big lab, national level lab, they have
No,
their send-out lab,
Yeah.
you know.
I understand. We have the same thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm curious with the sendouts. Once it's sent out to that reference lab, does the information then come back, or are you assuming that it's then taken care of by the other lab?
No. When you send out the test to the other lab, I mean, the test you send out to the reference lab is that which you don't do in-house, which you cannot do in-house, or which you are not equipped to do in-house. So the send-out lab does some testing according to your request, and they send you back the results.
Okay.
And you put those results on your report, and you could give it to your client.
Okay.
And the report which I just showed you a while ago, for the, which report was that? I'm so forgetful.
The RPT4 or
Yeah, RPT4. What was the test on this? Which I showed you different fields, which is. I apologize. Let me pull that again.
Curious, would we be able to pull an extract out of the system, like an Excel extract of this thing?
No, it was not that. Let me show you.
No, I'm asking a different question.
Oh, okay. The reason I want to show you this is, which one was that? Which lab was that? Partners, and it was Quest, and it was Sherman. This was the report which I showed you. RPT4. Where is that?
is it the 5.7 one?
Yeah, this was the report. Oh, quad screen. This is the laboratory which is using Prolis. This is a Prolis report. But this test was not done by this laboratory. It was sent to reference lab, Quest Diagnostics.
Just
This
curious.
test was done basically by Quest Diagnostic, and the laboratory who is using Prolis is the Sherman Abrams laboratory.
Just curious, this report, the layout of it be customized?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So that's why Prolis is putting these 3 asterisks to denote that this test was not done by the laboratory, it was done by AMD. And what is AMD? It is right here. AMD is a Quest Diagnostic Lab.
Yeah. I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So when you send this test to when you use this send out, all the tests went to the send out laboratory. They appeared on the report with the 3 asterisks, declaring the name of the laboratory automatically, that this and this tests were done by this and this lab, and this is the director name, and this is whatever the requirements are, Prolis does it automatically.
So just out of curiosity, earlier you showed us a screen of all the samples accessioned in one day.
Yeah.
Is that something that we could maybe export into like an Excel format or any format for that matter?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, in relation to that, since it sounds like everything's on a SQL database, is it possible to directly link that database to or connect to that database just to retrieve information?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, we do provide you that capability, but with some restrictions that you guys are not allowed to run any DDL on it. DDL is,
Yeah.
It will change the structure, and that will mess up the database.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. No, we would be just seeking read capabilities where
Yes.
we're only locking things up.
Yes, reading capability is allowed, yes. It is your data, your laboratory. Why would we restrict you?
That works out.
this, what was I telling you? So these capabilities are for the future orders and standing orders and, scheduling purposes. Then next step is to go to the analysis. Analysis means this is the QC management, quality control. You could do the, if you have a equipment interface to the system, you receive the results through the interfaces like this. You apply the results. Very easy step. Just click this button and you are done. And then you could enter the results manually through this screen. I'm going to pull the specimen, pull the accession which we just entered. 14, 12, 19, 0001. We entered CBC, it entered all the individual tests of CBC like this. It is displaying the range, displaying the history button, displaying the, note. You could enter the note here against every accession. Then you could release the result or you could hold the result. It's all up to you. And I want to show you how to enter the results manually.
Okay.
I think my computer is running some process in the background. Okay. Like this, you could enter the result like 12.6. And immediately it will put a flag here, it's a high. And next one is 3.0. It is low. Hemoglobin is 14.8. It's a normal. Hematocrit would be 56. I made it high. And let me enter some qualitative results. Any icon, any test which shows this icon, that means it's a qualitative. And you could click this icon to enter, select the choice. Like you could enter yellow, accept it, it will enter yellow. The same way you could double click this white space and it will do the same thing. Clear, enter clear. So you don't make mistakes. But you could also type it like negative. It will take it. Can you please hold a quick second? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Second, please. Hello, this is Tariq. Hey, Larry, how are you? Actually, I'm busy on the other line. I am in the conference. Can I call you right back? Or it's an emergency? I'll call you immediately, okay? Thank you, Larry. Bye-bye. I am sorry.
No, go ahead.
So if you enter a wrong result, like bilirubin, valid choices are large, negative, and, let me type it something like stupid. Nagattive. I misspelled it intentionally. And enter it, and system told me that, oh, this is something I don't recognize what it is. If you want to take this result anyway, if I say yes, system will accept it, but not rate it, because system doesn't know what it is. But if I do it, select it from here, there won't be any mistake. Or if I just simply spell it right, it won't say anything.
Okay. So for, let's say, for one of the analysis you process for 20 patients, can that information be imported via like a spreadsheet, or how would it, or would you have to type every single one?
Imported like what? How?
Like a spreadsheet, like an Excel spreadsheet.
So instead of having to select like urine color yellow or appearance and glucose, if that information is available on a spreadsheet, is there a way for us to upload the results onto the system?
How would we know, and you know, and I know, and system know which result belong to which test?
Well,
This test, like for example, urine color belongs to this accession. This
Yeah,
accession
so-
belongs to this patient.
Yeah, so you would have then an accessioning ID for each test and the actual result for each test.
And why you want to do this?
Because, sorry, go ahead, Marguerite.
no, you're going to ask the same thing probably.
So when we run our experiments in the lab, we will be processing a batch of samples at a time, and the results are generated in a spreadsheet, whereas automatically done is not something that's hand recorded.
Okay.
It's just a way that literally the equipment delivers the results.
Okay, so we have the legitimate and kosher way, and that is a make an interface.
Okay.
Like for example, one of our clients in Nevada, they run LCMS, like a confirmatory toxicology. The analyzer they are using, the output of that analyzer is in a form of a spreadsheet.
Okay.
And we have provided them the interface. And right now, the interface is running and it is putting the results automatically in place.
How long does it take to develop that type of interface?
I would say 3 weeks maximum.
Okay.
And that would work not just on a per accessioning ID basis, so it would be, can you build an interface that will work with information for multiple patients at the same time?
Absolutely, multiple patients at the same time. The interface would be between that analyzer and the Prolis.
Yeah.
So whatever number of accession you run on the analyzer, it will be transferred according to the patient. It's our responsibility to correlate the results with the correct results with the patient, with the test, and all that is managed by the interface. Now,
Okay.
because look, spreadsheet is a very, very vague way of transferring the information. But the interfaces are written under certain protocols like ASTM protocol, HL7 protocol. And those protocols have been designed by the industry for medical use purposes only. Those protocols provide the guarantee that every information will be transferred with the full integrity and full integrity and quality control. So my response to your question is that the answer is yes, we can do it via interface more professionally. But if your question is that if we can accommodate you with the some kind of custom arrangement, my answer would be no. Because we keep developing the interfaces for various analyzers, like we did this for Nevada laboratory with LCMS. You could have the interface like, let me show you one interesting thing while you're on the screen.
Just so you know, we have to wrap for another meeting soon. So.
Oh, okay, so let's just do this for some other time. But right now, one of our clients in New York, they are running about 18 interfaces right now, currently.
Okay.
Okay.
So you could have the same thing, same arrangement, we could provide you different interfaces.
Okay.
Lucia, did you have any other questions?
No, that's it from me.
Let me show you quickly the report, and then we are done, okay?
Okay. Go ahead.
The same report, we have entered some results, and some results, most of the results are blank. So let me run this report, and then I think we will be able to conclude the session. And I'm going to pull this report on the screen. Actually, my system is behaving a little slow because there is a background process going on. I think it's backing up my system. Today is Friday. Okay, this is the report. It's not released, so that's why it says withheld.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I should have released it.
No, that's fine. I think we
We get the idea.
Yeah.
One, and nothing is released. That's why. Let me release everything. Release everything and refresh it, and we are good to go. I can refresh the same report, and it will display the results. Give it a second. It's refreshing. Okay. Like this.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So any other question before we wrap it?
Not at this time. I think we'll discuss it a bit more and then probably talk to our lab folks a bit about their state of affairs. Probably I'll be able to get back to you in the new year about what how we want to move forward.
Okay. Anytime. Any question, anytime, please.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Were you able to record the session after?